Hi, welcome back to Live Amazing with Stefan. Today I want to clear some things up and talk to you about her way, his way, my way, and the way. When it comes to health and fitness, and everybody's online showing you how to do it, there's a massive amount of confusion there. We have celebrities, we have famous bodybuilders, we have all kinds of people telling us what they do. And I think it's important to understand that there's a huge difference between somebody telling you what they do and the way to do it in the most optimal way possible. Now, the only way you can know that is if you've had experience. So if you're 26 and you're telling people how to do it, what you're really telling them is how you do it. And that's fine, that's what you do. But you haven't done it long enough to have anything to compare it to know whether that's optimal or not. After 50 years of experience, I've done all of those things. I've been 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and have learned that there is an optimal way, and there's only one optimal way, and logic and reason will tell you that's true. The body only moves one way. Your arm only does so many things. Your legs do so many things. So based on the physics and mechanics of your joints, you can only move that body part so many ways safely and effectively. So there's only going to be so many ways to stimulate the muscle effectively and safely. So when somebody says, or somebody goes up to someone and says, "So what do you do for your triceps?" The complete sentence is, "I have no idea what I'm doing, so what do you do for your triceps?" And the guy responds, "What I do for my triceps," and what he needs to say in full disclosure is, "I have no idea what I'm doing either, but this is what I do for my triceps." And we assume that that's a healthy interaction. It's the blind leading the blind, when in fact there is a way and an optimal way to work all your body parts, but most people don't know it. The 20s, 30s, and early 40-year-olds that are training out there have found success. Now, the point of this video is that you can achieve results. And it doesn't mean that you didn't achieve those results, but it doesn't mean you achieved them in the most efficient and effective way possibly. You might even have done it with a definite or a higher level of risk because of the exercises you were using and the fact that you're not sure how to do it. What I'm trying to get at is just because somebody's beautiful and 27 years old and they say this is what I do, that doesn't mean that's automatically going to relate to you because they're 27 and they have good genetics. Example is if somebody has a beautiful yard and you go, "Whew, I wish my yard looked like that." And this guy comes out and he has a 1950 push lawnmower and some scissors and says, "This is how you do it. This is how I do it." You're going to go, "Wow, well, okay, if you don't know any better, you don't have no choice. You have to believe, well, to have a yard like this, you got to do that." 3 blocks down, there's a guy that's got a sit-down lawnmower and a gas weed whacker. He spends an hour, he's got the same yard, if not better, and doesn't even break a sweat. Knowledge, the most efficient and effective way possible. So where I'm going with this is there is a way to do that, logically. Someone that knows what's going on and can share it with you. That's me. I've got 2 books for you, Live Amazing and Creative Bodybuilding Lifestyle of the Amazing, compiled after 50 years of interacting with all the nonsense and trial and error that you can possibly do. I know if you're in your 20s and you see this old guy talking, you're thinking, "Well, I've invented some shit you've never seen before." I don't care. You've invented it, which means it's outside the parameters of the optimal way the body works, so who cares? It's hard to do, and you love it because you invented it. Which brings me to another point. Ignorance and arrogance go hand in hand. And one of the things about humans and their egoic arrogance is that if they don't know something, it doesn't exist, and it's not true. In other words, you could exaggerate that and say, because I don't understand Chinese, it's not real. Well, of course, that's silly, but we do that with certain things like exercise. We think that there's any number of ways to do fitness and be correct. So instead of knowing what I'm doing, I know I don't know what I'm doing, but I know if I invent this exercise and it feels good and it's hard to do, I know what I'm doing, so because I know what I'm doing, this is the way to do it. And the reason I say that, and I'm not picking on anybody, is that I did it for 35 years. I'd see what other people did and I'd make it better. And we all did that. It's just, rats climbing on top of each other in a cage over time period. And we just got there. Now that we've done it long enough, some of us are still in the game to decipher that information and come away with something that's incredibly helpful and effective for everyone. And the last thing to think about on this is that if there's only one way, and it's there presented by somebody who has the experience to give it to you, then it applies to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds. You don't get a new version of it because you're 20, and whatever it is you're doing in your 20s and 30s doesn't apply to 60-year-olds. Stupidity doesn't apply to 60-year-olds because they can't handle it. Just because you can do stuff in your 20s and 30s like CrossFit, which is insanity nonsense fitness, sorry guys, and the 50 and 60-year-olds have a hard time with it, doesn't mean you're better or healthier than them. It just means your body can take the torture better than they can. It isn't the optimal way. Optimal way means it's equally as effective for everybody in every age group. You may lift more in your 20s and 30s, you may trade a little harder or longer, you may have a different goal, but the parameters are the same. The same thing with aviation. If you're 17 years old, you want to learn to fly an airplane, you do the same thing that a 57-year-old does. They don't say, oh, well, you're over 50, so we have to give you the over 50 airplane, and do it that way. No, it's the same. So let's stop messing around. Go to my website, liveamazingnow.com. Click on the books, buy them, love them, read them. They're very short, to the point. They cover mental perspective, nutrition, exercise, and hormone balancing. Cut through the nonsense. And don't trust me. I only have 50 years experience. I'm 68 years old, standing here in incredible health. I'm not better than you, but I'm better than me, and I'm better than I was last week, and I continue to get better. So try it for a month. Digest this information and set yourself free from the ignorance of not knowing. If you don't like it, then go back to doing nonsense fitness. That's always going to be there for you, but I'm giving it to you to save 20 or 30 years of wasted time, of trial and error, that you're going to end up right back here and say, oh, I should have been doing this 20 years ago, or you might have quit, and there goes your health out the window. We don't want that. So get out there, do it. In the meantime, let's all live amazing. Thank you. Bye.